speak up?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can't hear you.
I'm not speaking loud enough.
That
We
way?
do not have to send the alternates here, so I will not be seeking any alternates as a voting member. Oh, here comes Will. Thank you, Will. And Will, Ellis is here.
Thank you.
And after they're approved, Bob Ward will then address you and turn the meeting over to the moderator. On the minute, I asked, has everybody read the minutes?
Yes.
Of, we had 2 sets of minutes, correct? Were there any corrections that we make to the minutes? April 3rd, 2014, and April 17th, 2014.
I move we accept the minutes and
I have a
vote on
second.
it.
Is there any further debate? If there's no further debate, I will call a question. All in favor of accepting the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Minutes carried. Nays, are there any nays? No nays, so the minutes carried unanimously. Now, Bob, you got that? Oh, I'm sorry. For this session, we have a moderator here. It will be Dave with and please hope you will give him the courtesy that he deserves for doing what he is doing for the town. This time, I'd like to turn it over to you, Bob.
What I'm going to do is tonight's meeting is a workshop meeting.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Whoever's talking, can they stand up so we can see who's saying what, please?
Sure. My name is Bob Ward. I'm the town planner, and tonight's meeting is technically a workshop meeting of the planning board. It's a regular meeting of the planning board. However, we have covered the only other business item other than a couple of updates for the planning board, which we will do at the end of the meeting. The main focus of tonight's meeting is a public information meeting to discuss the proposed 6 amendments to the zoning ordinance, which will be voted on by ballot in the town meeting on May 13th. I'm going to cover the 6 amendments to the zoning ordinance, and then I'm also going to cover, because 2 of the proposed 6 zoning amendments are based heavily on the workforce housing mandate. I will give some information about the workforce housing state statute and the implications of that. Also assisting me on that will be the town attorney, Chris Bolt, who's sitting at the opposite end of the table. So why don't we get right into it? What we have proposed, and we've already had one of the 2 required public hearings that are required by state law. We held that meeting back in March, and following that public meeting, which was properly advertised, the board, as is prescribed by law, voted on the final wording of the 6 proposed amendments. What I've provided to you tonight is a document at the top of page 1 called the Proposed Zoning Amendments for Town Meeting 2014. Is there anyone who doesn't have a copy of that? If you don't have a copy, let me get a couple of copies passed back to you. Why don't we just pass those back to you? You won't have to. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
I have. Thank you, young man. Did you get one? Yeah.
All right, does everyone have a copy of this handout? What you have is the original first take on the proposed amendments to the zoning ordinance to be considered by this year's town meeting. You will see that actually, if you look through the 3 pages of this, that there were originally 7 amendments proposed or under consideration, I guess is a better way to describe it. And the planning board decided to delete one of the original 7, which was originally entitled Amendment Number 5. And on the last page, you'll see that those 2 amendments have been renumbered to what was Amendment Number 6 is now Amendment Number 5, and what was Amendment Number 7 is now referred to as Amendment Number 6. And I will be referring to the new numbering that's in this handout. So to take it from the top, the first amendment is basically a housekeeping amendment to simply change a couple of words in the zoning ordinance. Everything you see there under Article 2 where it says zoning districts, in the current zoning ordinance is referred to as Article 2 districts. Well, we have some other districts in either this town or other towns, and the thinking of the planning board was to be more specific and call it what it is, which is zoning districts. The zoning districts are the districts that are shown on this map. This is part of the zoning ordinance, and it shows the 6 different colors, one color pertaining to each of the 6 zoning districts. So we're adding the word zoning in front of districts to make it clear. And we're also referring to a new map. This map is dated 2011 and was approved by the town meeting 2011. That's why it's more of a reference date so that everyone knows which map we're referring to, because that zoning map is very important to indicate where the zoning district boundaries are and where everyone's property, in which zoning district your property is located. So,
That's the one you're referring to as 2014 in the amendment?
Yeah.
2011.
What the proposed change is to change the reference date from 2011 to 2014, assuming that the town, taking account if the town meeting votes to make changes to the zoning map, then it would be reference dated 2014, which is the date of the town meeting that adopted that particular map. So that's strictly a housekeeping matter and pertains only to the zoning ordinance as it's written and to update it as I just mentioned. I know that the workforce housing matter is very much a matter of contention at the public information meetings that we've had. So I will tell everyone here that as part of probably the main purpose of tonight's meeting is to provide education to the voters so that they know exactly what is proposed when they go to vote at town meeting in a couple of weeks. This amendment, Amendment Number 1, has nothing to do with workforce housing. It is a strictly administrative change to update the reference date for the reference date of the map. And I would like to hold questions until after I'm through on all 6 amendments. So if you don't mind holding your questions until I finish all 6 amendments. Okay. Amendment number 2 is intended to bring the zoning map 2011 into compliance with the newly adopted master plan. The master plan was adopted by the planning board after 4 years of work by a citizens advisory committee, also working with a lot of different town officials, different departments and so on, and getting input. That citizens committee, after 4 years of work, prepared updating of 4 chapters of the master plan, and the planning board, after a public hearing, adopted the master plan. One of the most fundamental purposes of the master plan is to lay the groundwork and the foundation for zoning. This map is a part of that master plan that was adopted last fall of 2013 by the planning board. This map is entitled Future Land Use Map. This map is part of the zoning ordinance and has the force of law. It's been adopted by the town meeting. The voters adopted this map in 2011. And it's been in effect to today and continues until such time as the town meeting makes any changes to that 2011 map. So this map over here, the zoning map, has the force of law and is voted on by the town meeting. This map is advisory. This map is part of the master plan, and it shows a plan for the growth and development of the town. It has very similar delineations of land use districts, and generally the color coding is very compatible. The changes that were recommended in the future land use plan as part of the master plan is to, number one, expand the amount of commercially zoned area from this little red area down in the corner by Mosquito Bridge, and one small area down by the urban gas station and community store on 127, and to eliminate a spot-zoned commercial area at the Denbury Golf Clubhouse, and another area which is a commercially zoned area by Herman Lake. There is no commercial use up here, and the master plan committee and the planning board felt that this no longer needed to be the case, as well as the Denbury Golf Clubhouse. But the thinking was to try to expand the amount of commercial area in the town. So these areas that are shown in orange are the new, what are called neighborhood commercial land uses proposed in the master plan. And this is a substantial area of the commercial area near Mosquito Bridge. This is a new commercial area surrounding and picking up the area around the community store on 127, and adding a totally new commercial area, or proposed commercial area at Steelville. If you look at our zoning ordinance, someone new to town who didn't know the town would not have a clue that the largest commercial development in the whole town is located up here. So that was one change. Another change was to propose to downsize the historical preservation area, which is shown in light yellow here. And by the way, this historical preservation zoning district is composed of 2 parts. The village part is anything that fronts on a state highway or a town road, and the backlands that don't front on a highway or a town road are in the rural subset of the historical preservation area. And this just picks up on the village historical preservation area and puts the so-called rural area, the backlands, back into the light green, which is the general agricultural. There are some minor changes in the delineation of recreation areas, no changes to recreation or residential here. The only other main significant change is out on the end of Knox Mountain Road. Since that's not a maintained town road, it's to show that change there. So this amendment is to change the zoning map to look like this map. And that is a consistent line of thinking based on the state statutes and based on good municipal planning to make that change, to update that map so that it looks like this map. That is basically the sum total of amendment number 2. And once again, it has nothing to do with workforce housing. It is not driven by workforce housing or intending to make workforce housing unfeasible. I'll get to your question, if you could hold it till the
Well,
end of the
it
amendment.
pertains to what you just discussed instead of jumping ahead to something else.
Okay, amendment number 3 does have something.
That's not a point of order. He should be able to ask his question. He's gonna forget it.
We're in the middle of a presentation.
Croc TV.